Okay guys, we are going to review the lateral and anterior corticospinal tracts. And you probably remember that the corticospinal tracts are critical pathways in the central nervous system, and they will transmit motor signals from the brain to the spinal cord and ultimately will control voluntary muscles. And these tracts can be divided into two main components, the lateral and the anterior corticospinal tract. About the lateral corticospinal tract. So before I start to talk about this tract, I would like to just finish this drawing here. You probably would prefer me starting the video with the drawing ready for you and just carry on with all the explanation, but I prefer this way because I can also maybe motivate you to do something similar. Okay, we have here the spinal cord, and here we have the anterior and posterior horns. Okay, so this one is the lateral corticospinal tract. Lateral corticospinal tract. And the lateral corticospinal tract will be located within the lateral funiculus of the spinal cord. Here is the lateral funiculus, okay? And this tract primarily consists of crossed pyramidal fibers. If you remember the crossed pyramidal fibers, if you don't remember, before I conclude, if you don't remember, just have a look at one of my videos that I uploaded here on my YouTube channel and TikTok. Okay, and well, this tract consists of crossed pyramidal fibers, which means that most of the axons cross over to the opposite side of the spinal cord at the level of the medulla oblongata. And it also contains small numbers of uncrossed fibers, okay? We can say that this arrow, the thickest one, we can call this we can think that this is the crossed pyramidal fibers. Okay, crossed pyramidal fibers. And the small arrow represents the uncrossed fibers. Okay, this small arrow here represents the uncrossed fibers. And the main function of this tract is control or help with the skilled movements of the limbs, particularly the hands and the fingers. And yeah, it will be important for the motor control, especially the fine motor control. When damaged, the lateral corticospinal tract results in contralateral hemiparesis or hemiplegia, which is weakness or paralysis on one side of the body. For example, if the lateral corticospinal tract, left lateral corticospinal tract, is damaged, it may lead to weakness or paralysis on the right side of the body. And this is often seen in conditions such as stroke, trauma, or tumors affecting the brain or spinal cord. Now here you can see that I put this ellipse here representing the anterior corticospinal tract, and this tract is located on the anterior funiculus. This one lateral funiculus, this one anterior funiculus of the spinal cord. And unlike the lateral corticospinal tract, the anterior corticospinal tract will consist entirely of uncrossed fibers, or uncrossed pyramidal fibers, and these fibers will remain on the same side of the spinal cord after descending from the brain. The main function of this tract is control axial muscles and proximal limb muscles, which contributes to gross motor movements and postural adjustments. And clinically, when damaged, the anterior corticospinal tract, the patient might present ipsilateral weakness, which is also weakness on the same side of the body as the lesion. And this is less common than damage to the lateral corticospinal tract, but can occur in certain spinal cord injuries or disease. And the symptoms are generally milder compared to those caused by lateral tract damage because the anterior tract is smaller and less dominant in fine motor control. So yeah, it's pretty much what I have to share here with you guys. This is the lateral corticospinal tract and the anterior corticospinal tract. Oh, Brown-Sequard syndrome. Okay, this syndrome involves damage to one side of the spinal cord, which leads to ipsilateral loss of motor function and contralateral loss of pain and temperature sensation. So yeah, this is a syndrome that I wanted to mention, but I almost forgot to mention. But yeah, here is the syndrome. Okay, guys, this is pretty much what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you think that might be relevant for someone that wants to understand more lateral and anterior corticospinal tract, maybe share with them. And I hope to see you next time. Okay?